All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, we're going to be exploring a pretty nasty curve I was thinking of for like a yellow life burn deck. And the only requirement is, number one, we do have to be an OP09, so we are kind of preparing for a future set. So there will be spoilers, okay? OP09 spoilers, just giving everybody a warning. But check this idea out, guys. All we need for it, other than OP09, is a leader that is Big Mom Pirates for the 10-cost Linlin to complete our curve. Because listen to this curve, guys, going second that I've been messing with the idea of. Turn 1, play out a searcher, pass. Turn 2, attack with the leader. Well, actually, it depends on if they're a 4-life leader or not, right? So let's just say play out Tropical Torment. Our opponent loses a life, and then we attack. Okay, that was turn 2. They've already lost at least one life card from Tropical Torment, and they did not get to draw that card or trigger it, right? Turn 3. We're on 6 Dawn, right? Now, this card I don't have on the screen, but there is a card called Nico Robin coming out in OP09. And that card says if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, you can cause them to trash one of those life cards. So it's like Tropical Torment, but on a body that causes them to, that instead of having a stipulation of 4 or more life cards, like what Tropical Torment says, Nico Robin can do it if they have 3 or more life cards. Okay, and now we just developed a body. Turn 4, we can play out the card you see on the screen here, 7-cost Linlin. Now, they'll probably allow you to gain a life if you just hit that curve I just said, more than likely, because you're attacking with your leader every turn starting on turn 2, right? So, you know, when we go turn 4, play out the 7-cost Linlin, we're probably going to gain a life from that. And then last but not least, turn 5, drop down Tinlin. And that is absolutely brutal, guys. Like, that is a brutal curve, and they're losing life along the way. Let's just say they chose to give you a life with the 7-cost Linlin, which will probably happen, right? Okay, well, we just went turn 2, you lost a life. Turn 3, you lost a life. Turn 4, they probably didn't. They could have chosen to lose a life. But then turn 5, they lose a life from the Linlin. That's 3 life cards they didn't start the game off with because they went straight to the trash. Okay, so that is something we're going to be exploring in today's video. That was kind of a long-winded intro, but I just wanted to stress what today's video was all about because it's kind of an interesting concept we're going to be working on. And because of the way that this is, we're actually going to be checking out 4 games on the sim of me playing an exact same version of the deck across 4 different leaders. All the Big Mom Pirates leaders, right? Black, Yellow Linlin, Yellow Linlin, Katakuri, and Purple, Yellow Pudding, just to get an idea of what we need to do going forward. Okay, guys? I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. Let's go ahead and break down this video. I'll tell you what we're getting into today. First things first, before we dive into the burn action, the yellow life burn action, we're going to be heading over to the sim and checking out a game of green, yellow Yamato versus black, yellow Luffy. Okay, that should be very interesting. After that, we're getting straight into the business. We're going straight to business. We're going straight into the yellow burn stuff. I've got 4 games lined up for us of the 4 different leaders I just said, trying out the exact same deck, which I'll talk more about that as we get into it, but I don't make any modifications for color additions. So, for example, the list I'm running for Katakuri is the same one I'm running for Purple Yellow Pudding and for Black Yellow Linlin. Not adding any black cards for the Black Yellow Linlin idea or any purple cards for the Purple Yellow Pudding idea. So just to give everybody a heads up, and I'll talk more about that as we get into it. And then we'll wrap up the video with the deck list and we'll talk more about it from there. All right, guys, you know what you're getting into now. Let's go ahead and dive into this. I'm very excited to talk about this topic. I think this could be I think there's a lot of potential here. Now, let's go ahead and hop into the game for the lab. Now, if you are a new listener, at the beginning of every one of my videos, after the intro, right? This was a longer intro than normal today, like 4-minute long intro. But after the intro, typically what I do is put a game, I put up a game from the community. That's what you see in the background here, and we call it the lab. This is not me playing. This is someone from the community that submitted their gameplay for me to review. If you are interested in me reviewing one of your games, it's completely free. I just do it as like a free service for the community where we can kind of learn from each other's mistakes and take our games to the next level together. Okay, and if you're interested, all you have to do is record your game, upload it to YouTube, and then head over to the VV Theory Discord and put the game, the link in the Review My Games channel. Okay, very simple. And as soon as I see it, I give you the thumbs up emoji under that, under the link, and it gets added to the list. Now, it is just first come, first serve. There is a line for it, but it's not that crazy. I think there's only like, I don't know how to explain it. There's always about 5 or 6 people ahead of wherever I am right now, because that's just it's like I get that many extra submissions a week, where it's like I go through 7 a week typically, actually anywhere from like 6 to 7 of these VV Labs a week, and it's like I get 5 to 6 more on top of that. So I'm always about 5 or 6 behind wherever we are for that day. And if I ever run out, I have lots of extras to go back to, because if I've already done your video, you go back to the end of the line like continuously until I run out of new ones to go through. So for any of the new players who want me to review their stuff, it usually takes about a week or 2 for me to get to it, which is not too bad. If you have any comments, or excuse me, if you have any questions on that, please do not hesitate to ask in the comment section below. Okay, now that was like the longest intro ever, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into this game. The volume is off, the speed is on 2x, right? Yep, quality's up, and here we go. Okay, so we have a game. Let me check one more thing real quick. Okay, so the green-yellow Yamato player chose to go second. They won the dice roll and chose to go second. I'm a big fan of that. I think that's a great idea to take away second from black-yellow Luffy so they don't have the clean 10 Dawn play on turn 5. They're going to start... So Luffy had no turn 1 Searcher or turn 1 Garp, you know, the event or Garp. But our turn 1, not our, I guess, but the green-yellow Yamato players turn 1, they play out Kazuki Momonosuke, the Searcher. And I would use it right away because typically speaking... Very nice, and they get another Momo, I think it was. Typically speaking, Black Yellow Luffy does not want to... Okay, so that was a mistake in my personal opinion. Let me finish my thought. Typically speaking, Black Yellow Luffy needs to keep pressure on the opponent's face. Just go face, go face, go face. And in this situation, I don't know what version of the deck... I don't pre-watch these games. For anyone who's curious, I don't watch these games beforehand. This is just a straight, live reaction or, first impression type of video. And I don't know how they don't have anything else to play on turn 1, which does happen. I have had that experience as well with Black Yellow Luffy, where you just don't see one of your searchers. They typically run like 6 to 8 searchers in the deck, right? Like where it's like 4 Garps and usually anywhere from 2 to 4 of the event. And I think I was always running 4 of the event because you just have to have those turn 1 plays to get the ball rolling. But they're going to play out a Sabo. And right here, they attacked into the Momonosuke. So if I were the Luffy player, this comes with some knowledge of the game. If I were the Luffy player, I would just start attacking face. If they want to give me 1k counters, give me 1k counters, because that's going to mitigate the search the Momonosuke does anyway. And then later in the game, you'll be able to attack into Momonosuke with a card like Sabo before cracking it and, going about it that way. Like with one of the smaller characters like a Searcher. But wasting your attacks on characters with your leader, it actually does add up. It's hard to explain, but and some people might not agree with that. So in other words, like let me say this real quick. Like if I bust out the chess accuracy meter here, attacking into the Momonosuke was not a play mistake, but I think it was only a good play. When I think the excellent play or the best play there was just to keep attacking face and worry about that Momonosuke later. Because what are they going to do? Next turn they're going to be on 4 Dawn, right? Are they going to use the Momonosuke to search again and only have 3 Dawn for the turn? Because then they don't get to play out their Kikinojo. You see what I'm saying? So they lose pressure, which is what we want anyway, so we can build up into the late game and start going about things that way. And if they ever attack with the Yamato leader, we're loving that as Black Yellow Luffy, right? We want to take 2 life at a time and get to our leader's condition. Okay, now, I know that was very complicated for a turn 2 play there, but it does have to be stated, Black Yellow Luffy is on a clock. They need to keep the pressure on, and if your opponent wants to not develop their board further by playing out these 1-cost searchers and doing the searches with them, be my guest, because the Black Yellow Luffy played out the Sabo and had the perfect response there. So there you go. Good stuff there. Other than that, let's see what happens. Because look at this. Yeah, deploy Kikinojo. So we attacked into Momonosuke. Well, let's see what they do. Are they going to play out a Hiyori? So they're going to do another Momonosuke search. Playing out the Sabo was the perfect answer because we saw they searched up the Momo, I believe, with the first Momonosuke search. So they play that out. They get the 5-cost Momonosuke. Then they play out a Hiyori. And now they're going to swing for 5. So yes, absolutely. If I'm Black Yellow Luffy there, I do take that. And real quick, if you're the green-yellow Yamato player listening, I would not attack into Black Yellow Luffy as this leader. It's playing directly into their game plan. I'm sure most people know this by now, but hey, if you're a newer player, perfect opportunity to learn. You don't attack into Luffy until you can threaten lethal with your attacks. Because even if you don't attack until turn 4 or turn 5, if they have 4 life left, they're going to lose the game. Because now they can't start playing crazy with their life and gaining the plus 2,000 life per turn and everything. Up to like plus 4,000 life per turn with the Gecko and 2-cost character stuff. Okay, and oh, and one more thing I want to say on it is if you're forcing them to take their own life cards with cards like Hiyori, cards like, well, Hiyori doesn't force to take the life card, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. If you start forcing them to take their own life with cards like Flampe, Hiyori, or Makino, whatever they're running, that's fine, because they just lost a 2K counter in hand. They lost a 2K counter in hand, they lost a life card for you. They're doing your job for you and allowing you to still develop your board as tall as you can. And one more thing I want to say is I would have absolutely developed Kikanojo here. I would not have played out the Momonosuke. I would have developed the Kikanojo and gone about things that way. And then next turn, we can deal with anything they put on the board outside of a Sabo with our 5-cost, whatever her name is, Nami. Okay, here we go. So it is our opponent's turn now, or it is the Black Yellow Luffy player's turn. Looks like they're going to start off by swinging for 5. Okay, I don't understand that at all. I'm sorry. I can't even get behind that play there. Nice. We did get a Kikanojo. So pause. That's another reason why we should not have attacked into our opponent's life last turn. That ace that they just swung with on the board right here, that ace is a 5-cost 7K vanilla body. No counter or anything. But if they have 2 or less life cards, it has rush. So if we didn't attack into their life there, they attack into our Momo, and we go about things like that. But never punished. You know, in this situation here, they attack in for 7. We get a Kikanojo, which is what we wanted to develop last turn. Now, I do not know what happens next, but if I had to predict, if I had to predict this next turn's play here, I would absolutely be using Nami this turn to probably get rid of that ace. In fact, hang on, I've got a better idea. I would attach 1 Dawn to Kikanojo, swing 7 into the ace. Hang on. I keep going back because sometimes when you're making a play, it's like you have to fully walk it through. I would swing 5 at life first and see if they want to take that. If they take that, I would swing literally 11 at their face. And they're going to have to give me every card from their hand, and then it's their turn. They're going to be in a lot of trouble for the rest of the game. So I would swing 5 at their face with my what's her name? With my Yamato, okay? Maybe even 6. 6 at face might be better because we can actually use... No, we can't yet. Sorry. For this example, bear with me. So swing 5 into face with Yamato. Then attach 1 Dawn to your Kikanojo and swing 7 into ace. Do they want to let it go? Okay, if they want to let it go, that's fine. But if they don't, play out the, what's her name there? The Nami. Play out the Nami to pop the ace, and now you have another body on the board. But if they let it go, you have 2 options from there, and the one that I would choose is I would still play out the Nami to pop the Sabo, the 2-cost Sabo that he's going to be able to get value from later. I'd pop all of that off the board, or a more defensive option would be to play out the Momonosuke, pushing your Hiyori back to your life. Then you get to recycle that effect, you can set up Namis in your life, it just becomes a very high value play. Alright, so let's see what happens here. If you guys have any questions, please say something in the comment section below. I know sometimes I go a little quickly, and I can be a little bit clumsy. It's hard to get these ideas out. Okay, so we're going to start off with the play with Nami, trashing a other Nami to pop the ace. I think that's fine, but again, hear me out here. The first thing I would have done there, try to not show them any information from your hand until you've done everything you can on the board. And in this situation, I would have swung 5, like I said, into the leader, since they're at, only because they're at 2 life. If they were not at 2 life, I wouldn't do this at all. But I would swing 5 into the leader's life to see if they want to go down to 0. If they choose to go down to 0, like I said, I would load everything on Kikanojo and swing for 11, excuse me, it'd be 12, and swing for 12 straight into face. If they're going to counter out of that, and they're at 5, it would be, okay, so just assuming they have all 2K counters, they'd go from 5 to 7, 9, 11, 13. That would have taken 4 2K counters from their hand. They only have 7 cards in their hand. What are the odds that they're all 2K counters? You see what I'm saying? So that would have taken 1 card from their hand, more than likely just attacking with the leader because they wouldn't want to take the double attack. Then you attack 7 into the ace, and if they choose to let the ace go, well, guess what? Now they're down to, you know, they're already down to 6 cards in hand in this example. And on top of that, if they chose to save the ace, they'd be down to 5 cards. So just one other way to do that. But this play works out fine, and then we just pass. Okay, so that was what was interesting to me. Because even in the way you did it, you could have actually swung for 5 at life still and be like, hey, do you want to take this? Because then I'm going to load up 3 on Kikanojo, right? Like, so swing 5 at leader. If they take and go down to 0, we load up the final Dawn on Kikanojo and use the Elite effect to load up 2 more on Kikanojo and go 9 at their face. Now they have to give us 3 cards minimum. 2, 4, 5, right? They'd have to give us 3 cards, 2 2Ks and a 1K. Okay, but that's not the end of the world. I don't know who wins this game. Let's see what happens. So there's a Sabo. Very annoying. They're going to swing for 7 into us here. Yeah, I would take this. We get a Kikinojo, or excuse me, we get a Izo. And now we're in an interesting spot. I do like the Momonosuke. It looks like you're mousing over Momonosuke. I do like the Momonosuke play here. Okay. Putting a lot of thought into it, because this is a very important turn right here that we're on. This is actually a very important turn. Play out the Hiyori next. Okay, so we set our top life card, and then we're going to... Okay, so I would have done that in a little bit different order. Oh, okay, putting Hiyori at the bottom. Okay, so typically speaking, what happens is... So the way that I would have done this turn is I would have played out the Momo to push the Hiyori to the top of my life, and then I'd have played out the other Hiyori and set the card that I want to happen first. And in this situation, what card did we choose? Let me see what card we chose to put into life. All right, play out the Hiyori. Sorry, guys, I had to go back. We got a... Nice. We got a... and we put Onami into life. Very good. That is very solid. I do agree with the Onami there. And we got a... what's his name? Goodness gracious. Hody Jones from that. Playing out the other Hiyori and setting another card. Or hang on. Oh, no. We pushed the Hiyori back to the bottom of life. That's what it was. Playing out the Momo, pushing the Hiyori back to life. Okay. So they played out a Hiyori to take their own life there, right? Is that what just happened? Hang on a second, guys. 1 second here. Sorry, I got way far behind. Yep. So play out the Hiyori, setting their life, playing out the Luffy, eating the last card with the Luffy, and then they're going to attach 2 to their leader, put 2 life cards back in there. That Sabo has been on the board this whole time, the little 2-cost Sabo, so they're going to be able to cash in on that immediately, go to 9,000 power, and now they have 1 life left. So we are in Nightmareville as a... as a Green Yellow Yamato right now, right? Like, this is... Wow. Okay, so they went straight to 11. Interesting. So we can't even... Oh, nice. We were able to use the... We were able to use... Pause. We were able to use the Onami on the one character that did not have... cannot be KO'd by effects. The Ace. Very good. They swing in for 6. We give them a counter there. Take this one. Yeah, we had to take that. And here we go. Pause. Now, let's analyze the board state here. So our opponent... is at 11,000 power this turn. So this turn, we have to go for board. We have to take out their entire board to the best of our ability. And I would be going, goodness gracious, we cannot play out any card in hand. But we do have 2 0-cost 3Ks. So I would be using the board right now with only Dawn Investment. But no, we probably want to play out 1 card. Maybe we develop the Kikinojo so we can use the leader effect to get 2 Dawn on something. It'd work as kind of like a discount. But, all right, so hear me out. Sorry, guys, I'm just kind of rambling right now, I know. First order of business in this situation is add 2 to Kikinojo and swing 8 into their Sabo. That is like order of business number 1. That has to be done. Or another option is just swing 6 into it with like your Nami. Just attach 1 Dawn, swing 6 into it, see what they do. And we need to just go everything into these Sabos here. Because we really, really need to develop... Or, excuse me, we need to take away their development this turn. And we have a Neko Mamushi that's going to allow us to attack into their other blocker. Because if we have a Momonosuke and 1 life, so we can survive 2 attacks. And if they try to get, if they try to come in with the Ace, we can get around that as well with the 0-cost 3Ks in hand. Okay, let me speed up, guys. I know I'm taking a little bit extra time on this, but this is a really good game. This is a very educational game, I feel like. Okay, let's see what we decide to do here. It is the green-yellow Yamato player's turn, 10 Dawn turn, and they are in trouble here. So remember, our opponent's leader is at 11K. Nice. 8 into 6 was the first play, and I love that. So now I'm putting 3 on Neko Mamushi, and I'm going 8 more into Sabo. Okay. Or maybe even a little more than that. Hang on. Yep. I love that. Yep. Absolutely. And now we can play out that card like we said. We can't use the leader effect, unfortunately. Okay, so hear me out. So we have one thing to learn from that, and it was just to be a little technical. We should have played out the Kikinojo first for 4, and then we could have attached 6 to the Neko Mamushi, right? It went through either way, just so we can fully optimize our play with our leader's effect. Okay, here we go. They are going to trash a card from their hand to gain 2 life. It's going to be 2 Sabos. Now, this will be much easier to deal with than last turn because our opponent's leader is going to be on 9,000. Okay, I would take the first... no, excuse me. I would probably... We could zero cost 3K and trash the Nami. Like, use the zero cost with the other zero cost to get 3K, and then do 1K more with the Nami. Okay, but we gave up... Hang on, we gave up the blocker. Okay, they're going to swing for 13. We should just... We have to take this. Okay, it looks like we're going to go for a Hody Jones play here. I think it's the only option, right? Okay, so one play mistake we had there is I think we should have absolutely countered out of that first attack. Absolutely counter out of that first attack with a zero cost and a zero cost to get to 3 to put us at 8. And then we use the Nami to go to 9. And then the only card left in our hand is the what's his name? The Hody Jones. And then this turn, we would be able to smash everything into their board because we play out the Hody Jones because we had to take one hit, right? When they swing in with a leader, take that hit to life. So we lose our last life card. And then what we can do from here is just tap down the Sabos, but we'd still have our blocker left. Remember, we would still have our blocker left. Swing into every one of the Sabos with our board. Those cards have to go, and he only has three cards in his hand left. He wouldn't be able to defend from all of our attacks. Let's see what happens here. Okay, let's see what happens. Might just try to go for lethal. I wouldn't be surprised. Play this out, tap those down, attach that. 13 into 9, so this will cost a 2K, 2K, 1K, or a triple 2K. And let's see if they have it. They have 3 cards. Triple 2K. That's going to be a good game. So that was the more aggressive line of play there. I think what we should have done, like just trying to be very safe, right? Trying to playing it as safe as possible because... Okay, let me say it like this. If we do the math, they technically had a way to get out of our attack, and they literally did, right? So in the next best course of action there would have been swing 6 into each one of these characters. Because remember, let me go back to where you first played the card. Okay, whoops, hang on, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so watch this. And this is all assuming we would have done the play I said prior, where we save our blocker by countering out of the first attack of 8, and then letting the attack go through from the leader, and then we go down to 0 life, and then we have the blocker still. Well then, no problem. What we would do in this situation right here is we would attack 6 into 6 into the Sabo, and then they would counter out, or they wouldn't. Not a big deal. We just need to clear up a space. Then we would play out the Hody Jones. Actually, hang on. So let's do that a little more accurately. We'll attach 1 Dawn to the Nami and swing for 6 into the what's his name there? The Sabo. So he doesn't know we have a Hody Jones yet. So swing 6 into Sabo. They're probably going to counter out of that, but then we replace the Nami with the Hody Jones. And then we tap down the characters. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, guys. I know I have to keep running this back. We did have to play the Hody Jones first, or else they wouldn't have known, you know, how do I say this? We had to play out the Hody Jones first because the blockers were not rested yet. The Hody Jones rested the blockers. So then we would do it like that, just get rid of whatever it got rid of. Because in the example I was saying, we would still have the Hody Jones on the board. Or excuse me, the Momonosuke blocker on the board. So just get rid of the Nami completely and just go straight into their blockers like I was saying. Okay, good game there. That was actually a very educational game. We'll let it play out because I do think that is the end, right? So let's see. We swing in for 13, 2K, 2K, 1K, or 2K, 2K, 2K gets out of it. Very good. And now they're going to swing into us, and yeah, we just can't do anything. And some people might be wondering, like, well, why didn't he at least attack into the Sabos? It doesn't matter. Like, the Sabos don't matter. He just goes 15 at face, and we can't get out of it. This guy's going to do this extra stuff here. But I think we could have absolutely gobbled up the boards, what I was saying, even with all those 2Ks in their hand, because we could have swung for 6, 1, 2, 3, 4 times with what was on the board, because it would have been characters, character, leader, and then the Hody Jones swing, and then sit behind Momonosuke for our final block. Okay. 2K, this guy's just whittling it down, and GG. All right, good game. Yeah. All right, so that was pretty interesting. Again, guys, if I said something that was confusing, just tell me in the comment section below, and I'll try to explain it. I know I can start talking fast. It gets kind of clumsy when I'm talking. All right, now, let me get set up, guys. I don't have a lot to move over because we're going straight into the sim. Right into some games on the sim of this new idea I've got for a... I mean, it's not really new. I will say that. I know that Katakuri already existed with this kind of deck, you know, before this. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know what's going on with my camera today. There we go. So I know Katakuri has already existed with this kind of idea to just burn their life cards down and then just start chaining Tinlins and win like that. But we're going to be exploring some other ideas as well. Okay, so let me hit play. And that's something I need y'all to tell me. 2x speed. There we go. I need y'all to tell me if y'all think that there's no reason to even do it like this and just run Katakuri like normal. Because but I will say this, though, in the future, as more cards come out, this idea becomes stronger and stronger of like, okay, because like I said, look at the Nico Robin in our hand. Now, notice my hand here, not exactly great. I don't want that many Tropical Torments. That's not what we're going for, right? I don't want this many Tropical Torments, but hey, it happens. Okay. That's the one big weakness of this card, but I am running Nami to help mitigate some of that problem. Okay, so we use Tropical Torment. We're going to swing in for 7. I look at my top life card. It's a Soul Pocus. They give me a 2K, 1K. Seems good. We'll take that. They're going to swing in for 6. I know what the top card is. We're going to use Soul Pocus. Does he want to give me another life? Perfect. Negated that attack. He plays out the what's her name there? The Rebecca. We're going to pop that. I'm going to swing for 7 more. I'm looking at my top life card. It's a Flampe. That's not very exciting, is it? Okay, then they're going to swing in for 5. I just take it. I know what it is. I'm just playing the race game right now. We are just racing our opponent. We're going to play out the Nico Robin. They lose a life card. We're going to swing for 7. They lose another life card. Swing with the leader for 7. It's a Jewelry Bonnie. We'll keep that on top for the draw 3 trash 2. And my opponent's in a little bit of trouble here. Because, guys, we have been burning their life. Like, look, their hand. We've gone through 4 life cards, and their hand is only at, like, it was only at 5 cards at the end of that turn. Now they're at 6 for the turn. Okay, they have to get rid of all my characters. I have all my counters left. They're going to swing for 5. Okay, they're probably going to play out a Lucci and get rid of my characters here. I knew it was a draw 3 trash 2. Now we can trash the Tropical Torments we don't need anymore with like the Namis and the Bonnie effects. They swing in for 8. I take it. I don't know what the idea is here. They're going to do this, play out the Spandine, and they don't have a, hang on. They did not have a Lucci to pull out of their trash with the Spandine combo, or maybe they didn't have a Spandine. Whatever the case was, they couldn't get rid of my whole board. So guess what? I'm just going to win next turn, right? And in this situation, hang on. If they can't remove both characters, they automatically lose, right? If they can't remove both characters, it's going to be play out the Nami to pop your, what's her name there? The, oh gosh, the, can't remember her name, the Rebecca. There we go. Pop the Rebecca, and let's just say they removed one of my characters, like with the Jack. That's still fine, because I'm going to use the Nami to pop their Rebecca, and we would be on our 10 Dawn turn, right? 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, we'd be on our 10 Dawn turn. So use the Nami, trashing a Tropical Torment, pop the Rebecca, and we're coming in for 7 plus... Well, actually, they might have... Guys, look at their hand. I think they left prematurely. Oh, I know what it was. I bet they left because they didn't have that combo we just said, and they thought they did when they didn't. So that might have been why they left, because they actually could have survived one more turn if they removed one body, but not if they couldn't remove both bodies. Okay, good stuff there. So that's the first example. That was using Katakuri as the leader. We're going to be checking out 3 other leaders today, guys. Next up is Purple Yellow Pudding, trying the exact same list. I did not change even one card. Did not change a single card out. I just moved to the next leader to try and see what I liked about each leader's style. Okay, and these lists are not optimized either. I do really want to stress that. I was just trying out new ideas. I think if we were to take the list forward, I think what we would need to do... Oh, nice. Soul Pocus on top. We'll take that. I think going forward, what we will need to do is make it like more Big Mom Pirates focused with like Parasparrows and with the one called Searcher Pudding. Okay, so we're playing against Lim here. Lim is a very interesting deck. I think people are still trying to figure that one out. Did I 2x speed it? Hang on. I forgot to 2x speed it. No, I didn't. Okay. So right here, they swing in for 6. We take it. Soul Pocus is going to give me the card right back, or if they want to lose a life, that's fine with me as well. Let's see what they do. They let me gain a life. They're going to swing for 2. They just had to tap the character for the effect of a Lim character effect, where it goes off of rested characters. They're going to pay 3 using the effect. It's going to allow the Doflamingo to stand up, and here we go. So they have 4 life, so I can't pop that card. I can't pop the Doflamingo with my, I cannot pop the Doflamingo with my Gadatsu. So I'm going to swing for 5 here. They're going to block. I'm going to swing for 10 into 6. I just basically baited him into thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to try to draw 2 trash 1. It's like, no, I'm going to swing 10 into 6 now, and you can attack into my Bonnie next turn if you want to, or you can defend out or whatever with like 3 cards from hand. Okay, a little bait and switch there, right? A little bait and switch tactic. Yeah, Bonnie, I'm fine with just going all in like I did. Now, there might have been an argument to save the card. I'm not going to lie. There may or may not have been an argument to save that card there. Because if I had used 2 cards to save it, next turn it's going to let me draw 2 trash 1 and be an attack on the board. So there was definitely an argument to save Bonnie in that situation, but not a great argument. It has to be said. Okay, so right here, I'm going to swing 6 into 4 into this Rosinante. When you attack into it, it stands up, but it doesn't matter. It's already the target of the attack, so it's still getting attacked. And then we'll play out the Gadatsu to pop that. And now we're going to play out this card, Pierre, that allows me to draw 2, trash 2. That's a new card coming out in OP09 that I'm just testing. It's basically in the place of Pudding. I'm using it as a draw 2, trash 2, because it allows me to get through my deck faster, and it doesn't let me... It makes it where I don't skip out on cards like Nico Robin, 10 cost Linlin I could search normally, but I wouldn't lose out on cards like Nico Robin or Gadatsu. Okay, so I give him a 1k counter. So next turn I'm on 10 Dawn. And that's the nice thing about Pudding. I went first, and I'm going to be on 10 Dawn next turn. Now, Lim also ramps like crazy, right? Lim also ramps pretty insane. Okay, so here we go. We're going to swing 2 into 2. Let's see if he wants to give me anything. If he gives me something, I'll swing 5 into it as well. I don't mind at all. Because I'm about to start chaining 10 Lins together, right? We'll go 5 into 2. Now the card's gone for sure. And then we'll go 6 into face. See if he wants to give me a card. It would probably be wise to give me a card. Oh, actually, they just use the ADO's effect. They just use their ADO character's effect to go plus 2,000. I play out 10 Lin. I gain a life. They lose a life. And now, hey, this is what this deck has always been good at anyway. Any kind of yellow Linlin, Big Mom Pirates deck has always been good at just chaining 10 Lins together. That's always a win condition in and of itself. So hang on. I hate when they leave fast like that. Pause. So the guy didn't realize that the cards have to be rested on your board in order to activate the Usopp's effect. But I honestly don't know what that's going to help them in this game. Because if they attack into my board here or whatever, I can just start attacking into their board with my Linlin and my board and then developing my Charlotte Linlin. You see what I'm saying? So I don't really see... I think they just conceded. The game technically was not over yet. But on this next turn here, what do? Swing 5 with their leader into my Pierre, swing 9 into my Gadatsu, 9 into my 6 for Gadatsu, and then maybe swing 5 into face with their Lim. I'm not sure. Whatever the case is, I just start attacking into their board with mine, and I develop another Linlin, and that's that. Right? It's kind of game over at that point. All right, next game we got a game with Black-Yellow Linlin, my favorite, my absolute favorite here. And remember, guys, no changes made to the deck. We're just using a mono yellow deck. So for the decks the deck that we just saw, purple yellow pudding, and with black yellow Linlin, it will only improve as we improve the list, right? Because this is just a generic yellow only list, just to try out this concept of burning cards, burning life cards specifically. Okay, they're in swing for 7. We're going to take it. We get a draw 2 trash world trigger with Bonnie. That card's absolutely amazing. Yeah, Bonnie is just so good. And I think that's going to be a big thing going forward. Since we're already... Sorry, guys, I got to pause real quick. Since we're already playing around with the idea of gaining life, the more triggers we have, the better. Because now we're generating more value straight from our life cards, and we're cheating Dawn cost by just playing them for free. So I do think that will be a major theme if we do choose to go forward with this, yellow life burn style deck. All right, we're going to swing 9 into 6. He might save this. He might not. He chooses not to. Okay. I probably would have saved it if I could have, just for putting on pressure. Okay, and now it is my opponent's turn. They did a Perona top 5 deck search or arrangement. They play out the Gecko, getting... Oh, so that makes sense. So they get the Gecko back now, or the Gecko gets the Weevil back, and now they're Hang on. What just happened there? Things went too fast for me. So they swung in. I took the hit. Now I'm going to swing in to the Gecko Moria for 6. They must not have many 2K counters in their hand, because I feel like you save that every time there. But if they had saved it, it wouldn't have mattered. I was going to pop it with Gadatsu, and we're good to go. Okay, here we go. So they're going to swing in for 6 here, it looks like. Nope, 7. Oh, they got a free Dawn from playing out the Bow Hancock, and now they have 1 Dawn left for the turn. They're going to swing for 7. I 2K, 1K counter out. I don't want to go too low too early, because I need to develop my board further before gaining life with my leader effect. Okay, so here we go. We're going to pop the blocker, and right here I still have 3 Dawn left. I think I should honestly swing for 5 first into the 5. Yep. Let's see, I'm doing a lot of math here. Yeah, 5 into it first, and now I need to do 7 into it, I think. And honestly, so I think there's a play mistake coming up here. I should just do 9 into it at this point. So hear me out. Watch what happens. So I want to develop the Jewelry Bonnie. That's what's going on. So I'm going to swing 6 into it, I believe. Or I'm going to swing 7. Yeah, so swing 9 into it and just let it go. And he just lets it go. So, never mind. That was not the play mistake I thought. I thought I was going to just try to swing for 6 into it, and they countered out, and then I played out a Onami, but I must not remember that correctly. They smash in. I did not. So, why did I not counter out? Go back, guys. So, notice why. So, watch this. Okay, they attack for 7 and do not use their leader effect. They have 7 Dawn left. Game knowledge is extremely important you know, when it comes to winning a game. Okay, having game knowledge. So why are they only swinging for 7 into me and leaving all this Dawn rested? They're not even using their leader effect. I could easily 2K counter out of this, right? Even though I don't have any 2K counters in hand, theoretically, I have 7 cards in my hand. So my opponent's like, okay, he's going to 2K counter out of this. But why didn't I 2K counter out of this? Because I know he has a Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. Like, that's what he's going to play here. And if he doesn't have Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, that's fine too, because I saved a card in my hand and I still have a character on the board. But if I save it, he removes both Gadatsus anyway, and then watch what happens. So here we go. Gravity Blade Raging Tiger, just as we expected. Okay? But now I'm going to swing for 5. And now I'm going to play out a Linlin. It's time to start, you know, using the card that's going to help us win these games. So swing for 5, just waiting on our opponent here. They know what's going on. They're probably trying to make the decision here, like, okay, so he's swinging for 5. It's going to be a 10 Dawn play. It's going to be either Ace or Linlin. It ends up being Linlin, and now they're going to Red Rocket, and they're going to have to smash in for whatever that was. Oh, and they revealed a Perfume Femur. So now I know what to play around, right? Okay, so they have a Perfume Femur on the top of their deck. I know what to play around now. But here we go. Top deck. Seems good. Another Linlin. You're down to 3 life. I'm back up to 3 life. I should have swung for 5 first. That was a play mistake for sequencing. But hey, they're in a lot of trouble now, right? This is one of those cards. I think in OP09, Blackbeard will be the same way. The 10 cost Marshall D Teach. When you start chaining certain 10 cost characters together, or even 8 cost in the case of Gecko Moria, but let's just say like in this situation, if you let me pause it for a second, finish my thought. If you start chaining together like 10 cost Linlin into 10 cost Linlin into 10 cost Linlin, that's 3 cards of life you gained, and 3 cards of life they lost. And those were 3 10 cost 12Ks you developed. So even if you somehow removed one every turn, you know, because like Lucci probably could. Lucci probably could get rid of them every turn. But the point is, even if you remove them every turn, they already did their value, right? They went up 3 life, you went down 3 life. So that is something like being able to chain them together can just win you games by itself with certain cards that are this powerful. The same thing I think is true of 10 cost Doflamingo. I don't play a lot of green, but I'll tell you what, every time I make a green deck, I'm always thinking Doflamingo in my mind. At least it's like a 2, 3, or 4 of, because he can just win games by himself. If I can just keep your board locked down for long enough while I'm developing these extra bodies, you know, one after another, it just becomes like this insurmountable amount of value, and it ends up helping you win the game. Okay, so they go ahead and develop their board pretty nicely here. This is not good. So stringing 7 into 5. I do have a 2K, 1K I can give them. We'll give them a Bonnie and a Frankie. And here we go. Another Linlin. Okay, so that was a little bit lucky, let's be honest. But I would have played this turn very differently if I had not gotten that. So play out the Linlin. I have 4 life. I only have to get out of, 1 attack? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I have to get out of 2 attacks. So he swings for 5, swings for 5. I give him 2 1K counters. Now I can't lose unless he's running like Rush Usopp. Okay, Gadatsu. How's he going to do this? Plays out a Gecko Moria, plays out a Boa Hancock blocker, but that's not going to do it, right? That will not help you. Swing for 7, we'll take it. I actually played, so I used the trigger on Nico Robin, which allows me to play out a 3 cost or lower yellow character. So I cheat out a Jory Bonnie on his turn with that trigger. Nico Robin is thumbs up, guys, and it has a perfect synergy, like triangle synergy with Jory Bonnie and Nami, where you want to keep your hand size pretty low. It's helping you cheat cards out. They're all running off triggers for Nami. It's just so nice, guys. It's just such a nice little triangle going on there. I'm sure I will talk about that in a later video, especially with Red Yellow Sabo. Okay, so here we go. Right here, we get a Nami. It wouldn't have mattered, so swing for 12, GG. So I got the Nami out. I had one in hand like the whole game. I didn't have to pop that at all, right? I could just go, you know, attach 3 to Linlin, swing for 15, attach 3 to the other Linlin, swing for 15. There's no way out, right? They had to have every 2K counter in the world to get out of that. Okay, we got one more game, guys, and this is with yellow Linlin. A lot of people, you know, you don't see this leader very often. It is another game. You know, we had a game against Lucci, Lim, Doffy, Blue Doffy, and then another game versus Lim. How weird is that? Let me go speed 2x. Okay. So right here, I just swing in early. I'm not even trying to make them just lose life. Like, that's one thing okay, pause. We got to talk about this deck for a little bit here. In me learning what to do with this style of deck, trying to just burn their life, when I first was putting the games together, when I first put the list together and I started attacking, I stopped attacking. I didn't attack into them because I just wanted to burn their life. But it's like, well, no, that's just not practical, right? That's just not going to do it. It's not practical. So what I ended up doing was like, no, I need to start attacking. And I was losing like every game before I was attacking in, trying to just burn life cards so they couldn't get any triggers or any cards from their life. It just wasn't practical. However, once I started, you know, attacking in and making more intelligent decisions, we'll say, the deck started winning. But I'll tell you this right now, guys, putting this generic list together, it was a struggle. It was a struggle for Black Yellow Linlin, because notice in the game we just won, I didn't use Black Yellow Linlin's effect not even one time. Right? It was all a matter of just chaining 10 Lins together. That one, we'll talk more about the 4 different leaders at the end of the video, but that one felt really rough, guys. That one felt very rough. Okay. This one felt pretty good, though. Being able to set cards in life, like I thought this version felt pretty strong, and we will talk about that more later. Okay, so they're going to swing for 6 here. They go ahead and cheat out this guy. I think I used Frankie to cycle through my deck. Yep, I like that. And here we go. My turn 3. I have a 5 Dawn turn. Lim got to go first. They won the dice roll and they chose to go first, or to go second, excuse me. So that does hurt me a little bit. Okay, going to play out the Onami there, trashing the Soul Pocus because it has a trigger, and I pop the 5-cost or lower character Doflamingo. And here we go. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get full value from that. I wasn't able to cycle a card out after trashing because I had more than 3 cards in my hand. But that's okay. We're just trying to make it to the late game right now. We're just trying to, you know, slow and steady wins the race here. Let me make sure we're on 2x speed because I know this is a longer game. Okay, 2x. Yeah, we're good. So they play out the Lim. Okay, good deal. I have something to attack into right here. Then they play out a Doflamingo, attach 1, swing for 6. I do take this pretty greedily, I will say, but I want to be closer to my leader's effect. So for those who might be wondering, the yellow Linlin, the starter deck Linlin, it's a 5-life leader, 5,000 power. Its effect is Dawn ×2 when attacking. You take the top card of your life. I think you take the top or bottom card of your life. But if you have 2 or less life cards, you can add a card back from your hand to the top of your life. Now, here's how that works. Notice I'm at 3 life right now. So if I attach 2 Dawn and I swing in for 7 with my leader and activate the effect to draw a card from the top or bottom of my life, well, now I'm down to 2 life cards. So I can put a card right back. So getting down to 3 life is like that's like the perfect spot for a yellow, you know, starter deck Linlin. Okay, so we're going to swing 5 into 5 here. I don't want to use the effect yet. I have a lot of other things I need to do here, like develop a 7-cost Linlin or potentially a 6-cost, what's her name, Nico Robin. So we're going to go 5 into 5 here. And then we're going to go 5 more into 5. I'm just eating up their hand. I've given them 2 targets to attack on the board. We're going to play out the Nico Robin. What just happened there? Hang on. I just trashed the card from hand. Oh, okay. Sorry. I missed that whole interaction there. My opponent probably thought, like, man, he's not going to attack into life with his Jewelry Bonnie. Okay, sure. I'll counter out of this, keep my guy, and you lose all value for the turn. But not so much, right? Because watch this, guys. I play out the Nico Robin. That makes my opponent trash a life card because he has 3 or more life. And I get to draw 2 trash 1 from Bonnie's effect because my opponent lost a life. So that is a very, very powerful interaction. Again, notice the 3 cards I have on the board, and it's like this perfect 3-5-7 curve or a 4-6-8 curve, you know, whatever. You know, it's a little bit different for 4-6-8, but you guys get my point. Really powerful. Draw 2 trash 1. Don't need the Tropical Torment anymore, right? I can't even use it because he has less than 4 life. Okay, so here we go. My opponent's turn. They are on 10 Dawn already. That does not feel great, let me tell you. Let's see what they do here. My only concern is if they play out a Kaido Linlin, the 10-cost Kaido Linlin. They play out an ADO. I have no problem with that card being on the board. I'm not upset about that at all. Let's see what they choose to do here. Just waiting for our opponent here. They still have 4 Dawn left for the turn, but they're at 10, so they don't really have any. I guess they can still cheat out a character, potentially. That costs more than 4, because I think it's up to a 5-cost character. Yeah, it's a 5-cost character. So they swing it for 5, swing it for 6. I just let everything go. I'm like, hey, you can have it. Swing for 5. I think I should counter out of this. Yeah, give him a Caramel. That Caramel card there that I just trashed for the 1k counter, it's a 2-cost, 1,000 power, 1k counter, on play draw card. It has a trigger to KO 2 or less. Okay, so I am on a 9 Dawn turn. Remember, they got to go second, and they're ramping Dawn. I play out the Nami, and now I think I'm going to set a card in my life here. I'm going to swing 7 into 5. That's going to hurt. Okay, I seriously doubt they're going to save it. If they do save it, I'm going to swing 8 into 5. Like, we're not letting that card survive is the main idea. And I was going to say, I don't think they should either. So I'm going to swing 8 into 5, take my top life card, which is a Tenlin, and we're going to put an Onami back on there. Seems good, right? We'll take it. Coming in for 8, they use the ADO's effect to go up to 7, use a 2k counter to go to 9. Seems good. Okay, so my hand is actually kind of bricked up right now, guys, because just dropping down a Tenlin can lose you a game just as fast as it can win you a game. It depends on your opponent's what they choose to do, and it also depends on the triggers you get. We're going to talk about the deck list after this, guys. My triggers are not optimized either. That's something that would have to happen. We'd have to change that or fix that. Okay, here we go. Let's see what my opponent chooses to do here. They're going to swing in for 5. I need to get out of this. I have no more counter power in hand. None. 0. And then they're going to use that, cheat out an ADO, cheating out a, using an ADO to cheat out a Doflamingo with the effect there. And here we go. I have no choice but to slam a Linlin. Okay, and now we're going to swing in for 5. They'll probably block with this one. Yeah, they should block here, and then I'll swing in for 5 again, and they could take that one. And that way they don't lose any cards from hand. Oh, nice. They didn't have to do that. Very, very nice. They did not even have to do that. But one thing I will say that I probably should have done was swung 5 anyway with the Nami, just to pester them, right? Just to pester them a little bit. Or, actually, hang on, I take that back, because notice I totally forgot about the ADO's effect, and they had 1 Dawn active. When I swung for 5, they should have used Doflamingo, and then kind of tricked me like, oh, okay, I can swing for 5 with my Nami. Then they get the full, the full value of the ADO's effect there to go up. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what they do here. So they don't know this, but they actually have lethal. They actually have lethal on the board, especially since I took that. Because if I had 1K countered out of that, I would have been fine. I don't know why I didn't, by the way. That was extremely greedy play there. I should have 1K countered out of that. But I know what my 3rd life card is, right? We remember what that is, right? That's a pop of 5 or less. It's either Onami or Nami. I can't remember. But both of them pop a 5 or less. So they swing for 5. I very greedily take it. I hit him with Onami. Now their blocker's gone, and that's game over, right? If they could have sat behind a blocker, they would have probably been fine. But, hey, at this point, not anymore, right? Not anymore. Okay, so they've got 10 Dawn left. What can they play? I'm no longer scared of an ADO, and I'm no longer scared of a, what's his name? The 9 cost Zoro or 10 cost Kaido Linlin. So they just keep swinging in. I'm trying to get triggers. I'm just taking all this, and they play out a Zoro. So, okay, so that's pretty much it, right? So they can only have 1 Dawn active here at the end of the turn, and they'll only be able to use ADO's effects 1 time. So we just swing in for 12, and then swing in for 15. Okay, or just do it like that, swing for 5, swing for 12. And that's game. Okay, very nice. So that was it. So that was the 4 games we were going to go over today. Let's go ahead and check out the list, and we can talk about that, because it needs a lot of work. Like, let me just tell you right now, the list is not done. This is not finished. This is just a concept. And I'll tell you guys the cards I really liked. So I'm going to run through the list first, and then we're going to talk about the leaders. Because remember, guys, you can run this with Katakuri, you can run this with Charlotte Linlin, the yellow one, the black-yellow Linlin, or the purple-yellow Pudding. All of those have access to this character. Pause and read this. If you're not aware, your leader does have to be Big Mom Pirates type, or you cannot play this card and get the effect. You could still play the card if you want a 10 cost 12K body, but you don't get the effect, and that's the best part about it. Now, I'm going to run through the list, and we're going to talk about it. I'm running 4 Flampeys, 4 Charlotte Linlin, the Tinlins, 4 Caramel, 4 Gidatsu, 4 Onami, 4 Frankie, 4 Bonnie, 4 of the Nami, like Onami and Nami. Those are 2 different cards that are very, very confusing, I know. 4 Nico Robin, 4 Pierre. This card was kind of okay. We'll talk about that in a second. 2 Charlotte Linlin, and 4 Tropical Torment, and 4 Soul Pocus. So, if I were to tell you guys like what my ratio was playing this deck, with Katakuri, I think I won 1, lost 1. I think it was like just played 2 games, got what I needed, and moved on. Purple Yellow Pudding was also, I think that one, that one I think I won 1 and lost 2 or lost 3. But remember, guys, that was with adding no purple cards at all with a totally suboptimal list. And then this yellow Charlotte Linlin, being able to set my life cards, I think I won 1, lost 1. It was totally fine, just 50-50s. And this list could have been even more optimized to be like, more Big Mom Pirates. Like if I replaced Pierre with just a 3 cost, what's his name? Paraspero. Maybe. Actually, hang on. So I was going to say, replace these 2 cards right here. So replace Caramel, replace Pierre with 1 cost Pudding and 3 cost Charlotte Paraspero. Then I think the deck just functions brilliantly. I think it just does what it needs to do, right? It goes straight through, and then I can make adjustments here and there. Like and also I probably want to change out the Frankie for something like a beige. We'll have to see. We've got a lot of work to do, guys. We got a lot of work to do with this concept. But anyway, back to what I was saying with this Linlin. This card was very nice. Being able to set cards like your Soul Pocus to your top life card, it seems very good. Not so much the tournament, though. This was rough. But then finally, last but not least, guys, I played a lot of games of Black Yellow Linlin. And for those who are not aware, if you might be newer to my channel, before the whole Red Yellow Sabo stage that I'm in right now, like the whole Red Yellow Sabo arc we're on for the channel right now, before that was Black Yellow Linlin. This was my main deck for a very long time. Guys, I was getting clobbered on the ladder. I was getting demolished with this list because it's like I didn't have a leader effect, right? See, like with Purple Yellow Pudding, she at least ramps you a Dawn. So if you go first or second, you're getting Charlotte Linlin on turn 5 no matter what. Going second, you're going to get on turn 5 anyway, but going first, you're still going to get to 4 Dawn as early as turn 2, right? So like just being able to consistently go, okay, Linlin, just start dropping them, it was good. And Katakuri was just so aggressive. He was just running stuff over. Actually, hang on. Let me think of something for... No. Katakuri did struggle a little bit. He was not a 1-to-1, like I said. I think it was like I won 1, lost 2, or 1-1, lost 3. Because, again, not having that full curve of... let me remove leader real quick. Not having the full Big Mom Pirates curve of going like turn 1 Pudding into turn 2 Parasparrow, I lost a lot of early pressure. And that's one thing I will say about this card. As cool as the concept is, at least in my mind, of this idea of just burning your opponent's life down, this is a great card, but man, it's just completely dead in hand after like turn 2. It's pretty much a dead card. Maybe turn 3 if it's a slow game. The only extra value it has is with Nami. You can trash a trigger card with Nami to KO a character, and then Bonnie can help you search through. And that's where the complications start to add up, believe it or not. Because, okay, if I start doing this trigger to draw top 3 search, I can't get Nami or Bonnie in that search. Now, yes, I can still get the cards that really matter. Like, I can still get cards like Charlotte Linlin, the 2 Charlotte Linlins, or even potentially like 2K counters I could add to the deck, like Flampe and things like that. But I can't get Nico Robin, I can't get Nami, and I can't get Jory Bonnie. And those are massive cards for what we're trying to do. Now, yes, the most important card for what we're trying to do with a list like this, I think, is this card. In fact, I know it is, right? This is the most important card for what we're trying to do with today's video, because that's why we're stuck to running these 4 leaders. Notice the 4 leaders right here on the top. Because here's the thing, if we're not stuck on this leader, then we go build something else. Then we can build any kind of yellow deck we want to, as long as it can run all this other stuff, right? Because the main thing that I was really liking was the Jory Bonnie plus the Nami plus the Nico Robin. Notice they're all on curve. On a 7 Dawn play, it gets crazy, right? Because on an odd curve, it actually goes crazy. Because it's like turn 2, just play Jory Bonnie after swinging with your leader or doing whatever. Turn 3, play out Nami, pop their character. Turn 4, you'll have 7 Dawn, right? Attach 1 Dawn to Bonnie, swing everything you have to that you can, and then you play out Nico Robin, and you're going to activate the Bonnie no matter what. And that is such high value, and it's extremely powerful. But in most of the games we saw today, I'm pretty sure in like all the games we saw today, this was our finisher. And it was good. It does what it does. So that is something we have to take into consideration. Soul Focus felt kind of gimmicky, unless I was playing it in this leader. Because this leader just sets it to the top lifeguard. It's like it's 100% guaranteed, right? The same idea with Katakuri. I think there was a game I lost where I was looking at Soul Focus in my life, and it was cool. It kind of like mitigated an attack. Actually, it might have been the game we saw. I can't remember. I think it was the game we saw. But, it did just totally mitigate an attack, but I can't set it there. It's just it's there or it's not. And if it's not, yes, I still can get benefits or value from it with cards like Nami and cards like Jory Bonnie, but then there's like this really awkward... I think at the end of the day, we're going to have to pick and choose. Do you want to run Soul Focus or do you want to run Tropical Torment? I think you have to pick and choose one or the other, and if that's the case, I think I'm always going to go with Tropical Torment for the rare situation that I don't have like a turn 2 Gidatsu play and a turn 2 Nami play. Or turn 3 Gidatsu or Nami play. And who knows, maybe we go 2 and 2 of each of them? Not sure. And that's something we have to consider too, guys. What do y'all think? Which leader do you think would be the best for this idea, for this yellow life burn style deck? Because if we do choose to go black yellow Linlin, remember guys, I was just running it just like what you see on the screen here, not a single black card. At that point, maybe we add Gecko Moria. I'm not saying we should, I'm just saying it's an option. There's things we can do with that, and it doesn't really fit what we're trying to do here. There's not very many 2-cost targets. You've got like Flampe we wouldn't want to use. The Caramel's kind of interesting. The Caramel and Pierre with this, these are draw card effects. So draw 1 or draw 2, trash 2. Onami, I guess we could do that to give something banished on the board. So there are some targets, but the 4-cost slot is just like completely empty. So it'd be like bring back a Bonnie, or bring back a Frankie. That's it. You know what I mean? We'll have to see. But other than that, guys, like, you know, there is an idea of, like, maybe, who knows? I have heard rumors that OP11, okay, I have heard rumors that it's going to be a Whole Cake Island theme, and who knows? Maybe Black Yellow Linlin will finally get some support. I don't know. It's just speculation. It's all rumor mill type stuff. But, man, that sure would be cool. Because one thing I have to say, guys, is check this out. There was a card that was released, and it's going to be an OP09. Hang on. Let me move this. Check this card out here. Check this card right here out, guys. This is a 2-cost, 0 power, 1K counter. Charlotte Pudding. Big Mom Pirates. A black card. On play, if your opponent has... Excuse me. If your opponent's hand has 5 or more cards in it, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. That's kind of interesting. And like I was saying with the whole Gecko Moria idea, all of a sudden you have this way to attack your opponent's hand, and then maybe bring back a Rebecca that does this, that, and the other, or some other kind of 4-cost card you might get in the future. Who knows? But I'm just saying this. I would love for one of my absolute favorite leaders in the game. Pause and read what it does if you don't know, guys. If you're a newer player, this was one of my absolute favorite leaders when it first came out back in OP03. I would love for this card to get some support, because notice this, guys. This is a black and yellow leader. Well, check this out. Notice right now, we're looking at every single black card that is Big Mom Pirates type. Oh, what's this? One did not exist until OP09. So this leader had actually 0 support for how long? For 6 entire sets. It had 0 support from black cards until you get to OP09. And it's not even really great support. It is at least support, though, right? But yeah, I don't want to get too much on that. Y'all bear with me. Let me go back to the yellow cards. So I want to know what you guys think. So 3 things. Number 1, do you think this idea could work, or is it kind of what Katakuri is already trying to do? I'm not oblivious to that, guys. I've played plenty of yellow and played against plenty of yellow. I know Katakuri is already kind of doing what we're talking about, but this is, you know, trying to think outside the box and develop these things a little bit differently and preparing for OP09 with cards like Nico Robin. So number 1, do you think it's a decent idea for us to pursue? And then number 2, is Katakuri just the only way to go with it, or do you think another leader might be pretty decent? Being able to ramp? Pudding's not bad, but Pudding kind of has a deck that it's already running as well. So it makes me wonder, is there an idea with Charlotte Linlin, the 5-cost yellow, the 5-life yellow starter deck Charlotte Linlin, ST07 Linlin? This allows us to set cards into our trigger spots, right? Once we're down to 3 life. Let me see something. Yeah, see how it says at 2 or less life? So remember, when you do this effect, you're adding the card from your life and going down to 2, so you can put the card back to go back up to 3. So once we're down to 3 life, and we're just attaching 2 Dawn to this character, or excuse me, to this leader, we're swinging for 7 wherever we need to, and then we're setting a trigger card. Okay, well, we got Nami, we got Nico Robin if they're already down lower than 3 life. We've got Jory Bonnie, we've got Onami. If we're down to like 2 life, check this out. We'll go down to 1 life, and then put a Frankie on the top life. So there is some potential there, right? There is something to mess around with. And then number 3, just if you guys have any extra ideas, just tell me, right? So number 1, what was it? It was number 2 was which leader should we run? Number 1 is, do you think this idea can even work if we go fully through with it? Or do we need more cards in the future? So let me hash out the ideas one more time. Number 1, what do y'all think about this idea in general? Do we need more support for it? Or is it pretty much going to be able to be run right now? Number 2, which is going to be the best leader for what we're trying to do? And number 3, if you guys have any extra ideas, please throw them my way so we can figure this out. Because I will say this, guys, I love this idea right here. This card right here, 6 cost, 6,000 power, 1K counter, on play if your opponent has 3 or more life cards, trash up to one of the top cards of your opponent's life. And it has a trigger, just extra value like that. I absolutely love the way this card is, and yes, it will be in a red-yellow Sabo deck in my future. I can almost guarantee you that, unless something really weird happens in the future of the game. But yeah, I think this card is outstanding. It helps us win. It helps us do a lot of things. It helps us take life away from our opponent, take cards out of their hand, take triggers away from them, and we're developing a body, and it's a 1K counter, and it's a trigger that goes with our Nami. Just does too much for what we're trying to do. All right, I'm done yapping, guys. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. Real quick, guys, big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys. If you're just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help the channel, really appreciate you. If you bought a playmat, thank you guys so much. I hope you are enjoying that. The VV Pirates playmat supporters. And last but not least, the VV Pirates patron page. Thank you guys so much for helping out the channel in the ways y'all do, donating, and everything, guys. I really, really cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, guys, I'm done. Please do not forget to like and subscribe if you have not already. And if you guys have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the comment section below. And yeah, until next time, guys. Peace.